But before that, Craig, you had a fairly long and storied career, including repping some really interesting people and experiencing some stuff that really was challenging, but you pulled through.
Yeah, certainly it's in where I am now is a really interesting place, but it's a product of an entire career. Grew up in entrenched poverty in rural Indiana, but ultimately became the chief strategy officer of RNCPMK, which is the division of Interpublic Group, where I served as the lead outside strategist for companies like Verizon, MasterCard, Facebook, and the late Kobe Bryant, whom I represented for personally for the last 3 years of his life, or as I'm fond of reminding people, my 2020 started way worse than most other folks. He was looking to transition and was transitioning successfully from being the world's most famous athlete to the world's most famous storyteller. And I was his partner in that journey with him. And certainly uh, that and a number of other experiences have been moments of great challenge and great opportunities to keep going or not. That's been the story of my life since I was a child in poverty, but one that has carried through to the current day.
Talk to me a little bit about those early years. I mean, I've spoken with a few people on here who have kind of had similar experiences. They overcame quite a bit, discrimination, fear, poverty, like you say. And how do you think that formed your personality right now?
Yeah, I would say from the earliest point, I was on my own from the age of 14. So it wasn't just in entrenched poverty, but financially, feasibly, logistically on my own. From the earliest point in my life, every decision I made mattered. It wasn't just, when I was deciding what job to get, that wasn't just how did I want to spend my afternoons after school. It was the choice of, okay, I could work in food service or I could work in clothing. And I had to make the decision about, well, I think I can afford cheaper food and the employee discount on clothing is going to be more valuable. And those are the two essentials in life, along with shelter. And so learn to evaluate every decision, not just based on what was in front of me, but based on every eventuality. I learned to look at everything holistically. Everything is a four-dimensional chess match. And, had to do that with every aspect of my personal life from that point on, including even the concept of going to college and where to go to college, of where to get a job and how to operate. And that ultimately became my career. Because if you do that enough in your personal life, it becomes how you look and view the world. And it becomes something that people pay you to do, which is architect those strategies to say, we want to accomplish the impossible. How can we do that? Because certainly getting out of where I grew up and how I grew up would be impossible in any stretch of imagination. So that it's impacted my career, and it's also left an indelible fingerprint on me in the way that I think that the world should operate and how we should all look to foster the world around us, because there are too many people who still face that same choice. And so I spend a lot of my business career figuring out how I can work to do good and do well at the same time.
And you were orphaned at 14, is that right?
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, I was left on my own. I was tossed into a cellar, and if I wanted food, I had to find it. If I wanted anything, I had to source it and scrounge it on my own. It was an unpleasant experience, to say the least, but one that I'm happy to have found my way out of, thanks to a lot of folks who were incredibly kind and, frankly, even in teaching me the concept of what college was and then facilitating me getting there.
What do you recommend for folks who might be in similar situations? Obviously, we're not going to have 14-year-olds listening, but we might have some folks who are trapped and a little bit older. They feel trapped in a situation that they can't escape from. What is the step by step to get out of that cellar, quote unquote?